Welcome to the Bookers Alliance podcast, where we hold the pencil and the pencil is power. Coming at you right now is your host, Marky Mark, along with the man, the myth, the legend, Frank Donaldson. Join us as we discuss the ever-changing landscape of professional wrestling. So hang on tight, you jabronis, and enjoy the ride. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for joining today's episode of the Bookers Alliance podcast. Come on in the house, bring yourself up a ringside seat, get your sodas, your popcorn, your whiskey, get your stand that we're going to get on because we got some gripes and complaints today. And we're going to talk about these things. We're going to get them off our chest.
All right. You pulling your soapbox out today?
Soapbox is out.
All right. We're going to pull our soapbox
out.
Well, then that's going to be the message for this week's show. 4 letters, 1 word. Stop. So much stuff in wrestling that needs to stop. And we're going to call it out today. We're going to put a pin in it. We're going to put it all on blast.
Yep.
And we're going to see how much of it actually stops over the next couple of weeks.
Yep. All right, so before we get to the topic today, we got to get to our sponsor.
Yeah, we got to stop bullshit right now. We got to represent the sponsor.
Yeah, we got to get to so Jack Daniels, Mr. JD.
We get a lot of Jack in here. It's time for Jack to stop freelancing off our little,
we do
sponsors in here. They need to go ahead and at least send the bottle, right?
Send signs.
We'll take I was gonna say we'll take a nice banner. If we got a shout out on the website, we're good with that.
Cars, Harleys.
I mean, hey, JD got a lot of stuff going on here, right? I take a pair of Nikes. There's always a nice pair of shoes that could have a JD logo that I could be sporting on here.
Absolutely.
Stop freeloading. How about that? Let's start there.
Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Heritage Barrel. Got the toasted
Old school.
Definite kick on this one. So cheers, sir.
All right.
Oh yeah, 100 proof.
Yeah.
Definitely feel that one.
I did my reading on this one this time. I finally did. Because I had to get a bottle for myself after you had recommended it. So I did my reading on there, and they were talking about like the toasted oak and the sweet flavors and all that. I do taste some of it in there. So yeah, I like what they did with this.
That's a good JD. I like that one. Yeah. JD, good job.
I like what they did with this.
Not JD.
Although, hold on, I must say, so we got the bottle at the same time. I noticed when you brought it over, like there wasn't no wrappers being pulled off, no plastic or nothing. I noticed the bottle opened real easy when you got in there. So I mean, what had happened was right. So let's start now. Stop. Right. Right. We don't hose off the sponsor before we get started with the show.
You caught me.
But we don't hose off the sponsor before we start the show. Stop that nonsense.
Yeah, that's that what had happened was story.
That's why I said stop. I know where this is going here. Hosed off the bottle before we cracked it open for the show. And that's why they're not sending us the bottles.
That's
right
why.
Now. See, they're like, that's why they're gonna start sending us some little shooters. The little shooters you get like when you go to
bottles.
when you go to the hotel. They're gonna start sending us those. Yeah, but we're not recommending that. But we're also not turning them away.
That's true.
So
that's true. All right, get to the topic. Can we please just stop? All right, this is no holds barred. We've not discussed this topic. Everything that we're going to talk about today, Frank and I are coming off the cuff with. We don't know. We don't know what the other person's going to say. We might not agree with what the person's going to say.
That's going to make it spicy.
We might like what's happening.
Spicy shows happen, but we don't agree on what we stop.
So can we please just stop? And this can be anything in the world of professional wrestling in regards to talent, programming, companies. It don't matter what it is. The cuffs are off. Here we go. Frank, hit us up. Can we please just stop?
You want me to start?
Yeah.
Oh, hell. I can see promoters and bookers and creative controllers out there shaking in their boots right now. But we're going to talk turkey this week. We're finally getting ready to get serious because next week we've got WrestlePalooza coming. First of all, we need to stop that name. But that's a different conversation. Yeah, that's not where I want to go with that. What I want to start with is we need to stop with all these damn streaming services that are required to watch these damn wrestling shows every week.
Can I get an amen?
Next week, for those of you who aren't prepared already or who haven't already loaded up, if you want to watch WrestlePalooza, you ain't going to watch it on your Peacock.
Nope.
You ain't going to watch it on your Netflix.
Nope.
You ain't going to turn on your cable box and just naturally see it.
Nope.
Your ass has got to get a whole new subscription to ESPN for what they call the discounted price of $30 fucking dollars a month.
$30.
Stop that. Come on now. Is there anything else they can milk us for at wrestling? Is there anything left? They're milking us for belts. They're milking the hell out of us for these tickets to go to the events. You go there, t-shirts cost $35. They're milking you out of that. Stop milking us. Let's have that. But definitely stop with the introducing of new streaming services, right?
This is the TKO effect.
Yeah, from what we heard, they got a little, empty pocket syndrome over there. They're going to use us to fill it up. And I mean, we're doing it because we're not going to get away from watching our content.
No.
So they got us over the barrel.
Got us over the barrel.
Yeah.
The Jack Daniels.
Right. I was going to say the select heritage barrel, apparently. That's what they got us over this week.
I don't disagree with you there. I'm frustrated as hell, just like you are, with the complication of streaming that's come to wrestling, as well as football and other things.
Oh, God, don't get me started on that.
It's ridiculous.
This past week, how many different services did you need to watch all the football over the last weekend?
At least 3.
Opening weekend, and we had so at least you had one for YouTube, right?
Yeah, YouTube.
Everybody the whole world got to watch that game. But somehow, we were struggling with Fox because YouTube TV was kind of playing with our emotions as far as Fox went.
Fox was going to be there.
Yeah, we didn't know if we were going to get any football, first of all. Then we got, the CBS game. Then I had to watch the Panthers. And Panthers, stop. Why are y'all playing football? What the hell?
I can tell this is going to be a lot of topic today.
At this point, and that's why when you were like, we got to flesh it out. We got to make it last. I'm like, oh, hell, this is going to go over. I'm guaranteeing you now. I hope you got 48, 49 minutes available because this is going to go long. But yeah, Panthers, stop playing football. What are y'all doing? Or at least start playing football. What are you do?
Bryce is interested in that shell game, man. That's happening on the Tron.
Apparently he's still in his shell because when he comes out of it, maybe we'll get a good football season. I digress on that, though. We'll move out of that. Let's go.
All right. So, yeah, I definitely agree with you. Can we please just stop on the complication of using streaming services to watch wrestling? I agree with you.
Remember when we thought cutting the cord was going to be the best thing in the world? And we were so excited.
That's what they sold us on.
That's what they sold us on.
Yeah,
right?
they sold us a bill of goods.
Yeah, this sounds like the president's.
Yeah.
Oh, let me stop. Okay. Continue.
All right, here comes my first. Can we please just stop? Can we please just stop with the disqualification interference endings on Monday Night Raw?
Oh, this is a Triple H era here. I will never stop.
Oh, God. Please. Look, I get the fact it's safe booking. I get the fact that you got to book until the big event. I get all of that. But we are at counting 9 weeks in a row of DQ finishers for the main event on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
9 weeks in a row. And it's always
that's horrible.
It's always Sammy, Jay, Jim, LA Knight, the Bronze. I mean, it's always the same.
Somebody's always out there.
I can tell you what's going to happen. I just sit there and just tell you.
Yeah, it's starting to get predictable, isn't it?
It's like, look, okay. So first things first, let's shake it up. Instead of Seth coming out there the first 20 minutes of Raw, just start the damn show with that match. I mean, just shake it up.
Yeah, right. We're getting there anyway, right?
Yeah,
Why not?
Why not?
Take advantage of social media or something and get the beef going before that.
It frustrates me because, I look at these weekly shows as an escape. It's escapism.
Absolutely.
You want to zone out. You want to watch your wrestling. You want to see your big time stars out there getting it on. And it's like, come on, man. Why can't we just have something different? No. Disqualification finisher.
Yeah.
Disqualification finisher.
We've got a formula here, and we're going to stick to it, by God.
You would swear Vince McMahon's back in the house.
It kind of feels that way, right? So what I feel like is we're in that lull period of, we're after SummerSlam, the summer's over. Now it's that dead period kind of until Survivor Series. Well, now WrestlePalooza popped up, and okay, so we got to get active for that, ESPN, blah, blah, blah. But we're still just kind of going through the motions. It's like, okay, we don't really have anything big coming until Survivor Series, so we got to wander along until we get to the build of Survivor Series. So we got to wander through this, and we're just in the formula right now. It's plug and play. You put whatever guys in it that fill the formula, but we're literally plugging and playing. And this is the time of wrestling where we get to do shows like this because there wasn't so much activity coming out of XYZ pay-per-view that made us know that we needed to talk about it. So
yeah, unfortunately, the Night Trick, I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about that, but speaking of Trick, I want to talk about that. So,
all right, let's go.
So yeah, another thing we need to stop, right? Stop calling people up to NXT from NXT onto the main roster, not half-ass using them, but then trying to make a big to-do about them coming home to NXT for homecoming.
Oh, is this a Mello reference?
So we had absolutely. That's why when you said Trick, that's why, because Mello came out there and he's trying to stand up to Trick, talk about I'm the one that renovated the house and the DIY is the one who built the house and now Trick owns the house and blah. I'm like, yeah, but y'all are homeless on the main roster. All three names that are on the main roster right now.
He said he's homeless.
Exactly right. Y'all built the house over here, and then now y'all on the streets. Because I'm like, when I look at your stock over on SmackDown, yeah, DIY had the tag thing for it. They won the titles for a little bit, but nothing memorable. There's nothing memorable that I can think of out of them going up to the main roster. Now you got Carmelo who's wandering over to the tag division because there's nowhere for him to fit on the main roster as a first-round draft pick. What are we doing? What's the point of picking him first round, job him out for essentially a year, but now when he comes home to NXT, it's a big deal? Like, I'm supposed to care?
Good point, because Mello was supposed to be a big deal.
He was a first-round draft pick.
Absolutely. I look, there was so much that you could have done with Mello, but I think they got crushed into Mello got caught up during the Cody Roman feud.
Yeah, everything got overshadowed. But you still have to have an effective mid card, right?
You do.
Has Mello been a U.S. champion since he's got called to the main roster?
No.
Why not, right? Like,
True.
What are we doing with the U.S. title over there? Logan Paul had it for a while. Hell, I don't even know who's got it right now. Off the top of my head, if I sit here and think about it, I could probably cough it up. But off the top of my head, Sammy. Sammy just won it a couple weeks ago. Hell, Sammy was just on Raw with the damn title. That's a SmackDown belt. But yet he was in Chicago. What are we doing right now? I'm so confused. I'm so lost. I have no idea what's going on here.
All right. My next, can we please just stop? Can we please stop playing announcer musical chairs?
Oh my God, that was one of mine to talk. Did you hear about what happened to Wade Barrett coming out of the damn?
So first thing,
Nikki Bella nonsense. So oh my God.
First thing first, Wade even having to go on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and clarify what was really going on. First off, that's stupid as hell, and IWC, you should be ashamed of yourself. Giving that man hell like that for no reason. Second thing though. In this whole look, you can sit here and armchair quarterback this whole situation all you want. Should Nikki Bella even said what she said before giving Stu a chance to really to talk it out and hear her out and things like that?
Yeah,
probably not. But at the same time, it's wrestling, and a good podcaster out there, Eric Bischoff, controversy breeds cash. So, so
hey, if I'm Nikki Bella, of course I'm going to say something. I want my name out there, right? I want I want people talking about my name. I want people writing in. I want people complaining and bitching and all that other. I want them to make a stink about, hey, get Nikki Bella better TV, get her better. Now that's all I'm thinking about if I'm Nikki Bella. The collateral damage though is now Wade Barrett's probably off announcing for a while. Wade probably on a little vacation.
Wade went at that's what he said. It was playing time off. It was vacation. Blah blah blah. Okay, sure. Spin your story. Do whatever. Okay, absolutely. Whatever. But look, here's the thing. Joe Tessitore has commitments to college football. Pat McAfee has commitments to college football. The brass didn't like what Corey Graves said on a tweet one time. This whole Nikki Bella,
now all of a sudden Corey Graves is the utility player where he's everywhere it needed to be.
Look, I miss the days, and look, I know times have changed, and I get the reason why we are playing announcer musical chairs. I get it. Yeah. Everybody needs time off. Everybody's got to balance things up. Yeah, I get all of that, but I do miss the days and go way back in our archives where we've talked about the announced teams of the past.
Yeah.
I do miss the days of Bobby the Brain Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon.
We had them for our entire childhood, basically.
Right. I miss the days of JR and the King.
We
Jerry
had them
Lawler.
essentially for the majority of our teenage to adult years, right? We had those guys, the two announced teams that you named, we had for decades.
Yeah.
Now we're getting, 6-7 months, and then we got to freshen it up. Well, why?
But
what are we freshening it up?
I don't mind Joe Tessitore. I like Joe Tessitore.
Yeah,
I like Pat.
I like what Joe
Cole.
Tessitore did with Wade on
Right.
SmackDown.
Every bit of it. So I like who they're putting in the booth. Just keep them there.
Yeah, once you find a formula that works, work it,
them
right?
there.
There's no point in saying, well, let's freshen it up, because now if we don't like it, now we're stuck with it, for one.
Yep.
Or if we do like it, well, now we have to compare it to what we liked before. A whole bunch of nonsense on that. So I don't think we've had any disagreements yet. So.
And in that same vein, and we're not going to disagree on this, I can tell you that.
We're going to disagree on my next one, but let's keep going.
In that same vein of announcers, Tony Khan, can we please just stop the fact that you're bringing Bryan Danielson to commentary is going to be the savior of AEW ratings?
Yeah, well.
Please stop. That is not happening.
Everything Tony's done has been the biggest thing in wrestling history, and none of it has
panned
been
out.
the biggest thing in wrestling history. So,
All right, I had to get that one.
If there's an overseller in the world out there, it's Tony Khan.
Tony Khan.
You got to give him credit for that. I mean, hell, but why not? So, speaking of Tony Khan, though, I'm glad you brought him up, because that transitions into where I was going here. They got a pay-per-view here coming up soon. Did you hear anything about it?
Nope.
You're exactly right. So I only heard about it because Bryan Danielson did a sit-down interview this week, and I was interested in listening. So apparently they're getting ready to do Worlds Collide.
Say what?
Yeah, Worlds Collide, right?
Look, this ain't no bullshit. Say what for real?
Yeah, so
I was thinking All Out is the next one.
So I don't know if it's the next one or not. I know it's coming.
Oh, okay.
But Brian was doing this interview, and he was talking about they're going to be in Australia, I guess Brisbane or whatnot. They're doing Worlds Collide though, but that's kind of where I want to go with that is stop all that stuff, right? Stop the whole Worlds Collide. Stop the whole thing in WWE, right? Stop all the cross connect if you're not going to live into the cross connection that we want, right?
I got you.
We got AAA bleeding into Raw every now and again. We got Speed, which I thought was the damn Twitter federation of WWE. That's bleeding into NXT now.
That's a bus with Sandra Bullock on it, right?
Not exactly, right? I would watch though. So if that was it, then I would watch.
Speed, the old
but
movie,
no, it's what it looks like
Bullock.
is the refurbished neon colored NXT title. Yeah, it's the old school NXT title. They basically refurbished it. They took the metal and kind of just formed
Rainbowed
it into right. They just formed it into the Speed. They were like, we ain't got nothing to do with this nonsense here. So they basically repurposed it into the Speed title. But we got that bleeding into damn NXT now. We got LFG bleeding into damn NXT now. We've got
yuck.
I mean, everywhere you turn over on AEW, we got, well, hell, AEW's bleeding onto my TV every now and again because I ain't watching. But when I do catch wind of it, I'm just like, God, why are they putting me through it? But now they're bleeding into, working with Japan again. And if you're not going to do a full on, 1v1 or 2v2 card versus card, where you're doing AAA versus WWE. If you're not going to do stuff like that, stop bullshitting us around with, I'll give you one match here with two guys who worked together 50 years ago that know each other like the back of their hand. Give us something give me, Roman Reigns versus John Moxley. Give me something crazy like that, or don't give me anything at all. We did it right with TNA and NXT, right? We had Oba wrestling Moose. We had Trick wrestling Joe Hendry. We had actual main event guys, top tier guys from both brands going head to head. That's great. Don't give me guys I ain't never heard of before and match them up against guys I don't want to watch on Raw and SmackDown anyway, and then tell me, okay, this is your cross promotion. Stop all that. I don't want to see that.
All right, so I see where you think I'm going to disagree with you.
Yeah, because you love that Worlds Collide shit.
Actually, there's a quarter of this that I do agree with you on. I do agree with you on because the very first time that they did Forbidden Door, to me, it was fantastic because, faux pas.
Because it was first.
Wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah,
right?
It was the first.
Right. So there is something, though, to all of these companies combining doing shows together. You get to see a cross mix of talent that you normally wouldn't see. Without this, I would have no clue who some of these AAA wrestlers are because you don't get that here.
Very true.
And without what was going on in AEW, New Japan had kind of fallen off American TV. So outside of YouTube and following it there, I would have not known who Takeshita was. Like some things like that. So I do agree with your whole 1v1. I would like that better than combining all these people in a mixed tag match or doing all this other crap that they're doing just to say, hey, we did it.
Yeah, right.
I do like the exposure that some of these other talents get. Here's what I would like to see come out of this, though. I want, and again, never going to happen, and it's unfortunate because us as wrestling fans, I would love to see something like this. So, Mortal Kombat, you had a ranking system. You went up it, you fought through the ranking system until you got to the champion.
Yep.
Right? Bloodsport, old movie from the 80s.
Yeah. Jean-Claude Van
Damme.
Yeah.
Tom Poe. Like he was the champ. Like you had to get to him. And then when you got to him, ooh, it was badass. And y'all had a Thai glass glove fight. Like stuff like that. I don't want to see the violence.
Right.
I'm not talking about that. But what I am talking about is New Japan has a formula that should be adopted by the entire professional wrestling community, all organizations. That G1 Climax tournament that New Japan does, they do let people in from all over the world to go compete at that. It is a New Japan event. We don't get to see it in America unless you subscribe to the New Japan streaming service or what.
God.
Right. So you don't really get to see that in America, right? But imagine a world where you had a G1 Climax style tournament where everybody from all professional wrestling organizations, including indies, would come and have a 64-man tournament to see who was the best. There's no belt involved. There's nothing like that involved. The problem where this comes in, though, is the booking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we're not.
I was going to say we have with the talent roster we have just in North America, right? North America, that includes Canada, right? So if you include Canada and the U.S., just the talent roster alone, I mean, we could have a 64-man tournament 3 times a year, with 64 different guys. But the problem is who the hell wins the tournament at the end? Because if you start bringing in, I mean, obviously WWE is going to say, well, hell, we're going to win.
We're going to win because they're the biggest,
right? Yeah, we're the biggest, we're the baddest, we're the best. We're going to win it all, and we're probably going to have to fund this whole thing. So we're definitely going to win it all. Well, then you're going to have Tony Khan will say, well, no, I can fund it all, so I want Sting to win. And it's like, well, hell, Sting's 3 feet in the grave at this point. I don't think he can win it, but
simple booking resolution, draw straws.
No, absolutely not. There's no world I want to exist where let's say the GCW guy draws the big straw and you're watching the pizza cutter guy pinning Roman Reigns. There's no world I want to see that, right? So, if that starts happening, I stop watching. Then we start talking about what we stopped doing, and that's this podcast.
But I mean, I know I'm off on a tangent, but man, oh man, to get a tournament like that, especially if we're going to keep doing these Worlds Collide or Forbidden Doors, whatever they want to call them, man, oh man, would it be great to get a tournament like that. But I digress.
It definitely would be, but stop saying that because it'll never happen.
All right, getting on to my next one. My next, can we please just stop? Can we please just stop pretending that LFG is not scripted? Can we please just stop?
Wait, we're still pretending it wasn't? Hell, I thought we gave up on that midway through the first season. Holy hell.
I can't even watch LFG anymore. I was so amped and excited after it first aired because everything that you've seen seemed really cool. And then they introduced the point system. Yeah. Made absolutely no sense.
Yeah, they're like the 3 legends are going to score. And I'm like, wait a minute, aren't the 3 legends the coaches of the same?
How does this work?
What are we doing here?
And then the whole sexy BJ Ray storyline. I mean, that all bull crap. But here's the thing. I was into it. And I'm down with something being scripted. Mm-hmm. I watch professional wrestling. Yeah. I'm down with something being scripted.
Right. We know what we're getting into.
But this was over scripted.
Yeah.
This was really bad.
Yeah.
And I commend, Booker and Undertaker and Bully and Mickey James and Michelle McTaker. I commend them for trying, but it's not coming off great.
I mean, they got a job to do, right? They got hired to do a show, so they're gonna do what they got hired to do. I ain't mad at that. I ain't knocking nobody's bag, as the young people would say. I never do that. If you're gonna pay me a ton of money to come out there and do whatever you say, and it's in something that I can work in, like wrestling, a field that I'm confident in, yeah, I'll go do it. Why not, right? It could be fun, or it could be what we're getting, and it's just TV at this point. It's kind of. It is what it is. You just kind of play along with it. Again, I haven't watched this season. I couldn't. I watched last season. I watched it all the way through. I didn't like the miscontinuity of it, where the whole idea was to win an NXT contract, but yet you had the losers of the damn show, as they were getting kicked off, they're popping up on battle royals and they're participating in the event while you still got the actual competitors still competing to get on the show. So you don't see the 4 people that are there at the end. They're nowhere to be found. But you see all the other guys that done lost the competition. They're on NXT already. And I'm like, well, they're not wrestling there without a contract. The whole purpose of winning the show is to get an NXT contract. So apparently the guys who lost sooner actually got a contract faster. That destroyed the whole show for me. Again, like you said, I know it's scripted. I know what I'm getting into. Anytime I turn on anything wrestling based, I know what I'm getting into. They're going to give me what they've constructed to give me to get to where they want to go. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. Take me on that ride. Make me believe. Don't feed me nonsense and expect me to put the suspenders of belief on and just strap them up. No, I can't do that. Now, God, I mean, give me a break here. I may want to go brain dead. It may be brain dead time for on TV, but my brain doesn't shut off. It's, I just don't want to have to think it through. But damn, I don't want to have to look at it and try not to think it through and still get to the end way before they do. I can't be bothered with that. That's a little bit too much, right?
Too much.
Too much for me.
All right, Frank, you're up.
I got one. So what we need to stop doing, time to stop with the damn injuries. What the hell are we doing? We did a show on this a year ago, right?
Yeah, it's called You Got to Be More Careful.
We've done numerous different variations of this show, but we've never done it on Let's Just Stop, right?
Yeah.
So let's just put it point blank. We're not going to sugarcoat it. We're not going to cover it. We're not going to make it sound good or, a spoonful of sugar to help the medicine go down. Damn it, I'm force feeding you today. Stop the crazy nonsense when you realize your body ain't built for it.
Yep.
It's ridiculous, right? God, I think it was Bully Ray. No, it's Mick Foley. Mick Foley said a line that we've repeated on this show before. I'm going to repeat it again. More is less. You get the same amount of paycheck, the same amount of money's going in your check, whether you do a triple Hurricane Rana plancha through 4 glass tables and a steel chair.
A real glass too, damn it.
Right, real glass, because CM Punk we ain't doing that plexiglass for Punk. You're going to get the same check whether you do that or you do a basic fist drop off the middle rope like Jerry Lawler, right?
Yep.
Why are we killing ourselves? Because it doesn't help your career. Look at how many people we got riding on the bench right now that would be crucial to some of the storylines that we're doling through as we get through this, this weird point of time. I get it. The Royal Rumble's coming. Now they're stuck in we got to save these guys for the Rumble type thing because we don't want to bring anybody back too soon, or we need the surprise pop, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. But damn, at WrestleMania, if you go all out, completely understand, right?
Right.
At SummerSlam, if you've got 70,000 people 2 nights in a row and you go all out, I get it, right?
Monday Night Raw.
Right. We've got these people getting injured on Monday Night Raw at this point. We've got people getting injured at, as Friday Night SmackDown. We've got people feigning injury on Saturday Night's Main Event at this point in time. I mean, you know what I mean? At this point now, you got to stop with the injuries. You got to take care of yourselves. Yep. You guys got a long career left, and that money ain't going to last forever. I know it's coming in fast and hot right now, and I know you guys are young. I was once this way. I thought the money was never going to stop coming. I was willing to just keep blowing it and I'll just make some more. And I even had to get to a point where I'm like, damn, yeah, it's going to keep coming for a while. But one day I'm not going to want to keep going out there busting my head to get it.
Yep.
Well, you guys are literally busting your heads out. Stop doing that. Go out there and do what needs to be done for TV. Save that big spot stuff for the big spots.
All right. So I'm going to go 50-50 on it.
Okay.
This one, okay. So the 50% that I'm going to go against you. Okay. I've gone back and looked at some of those old wrestling matches from the 80s. As we were kids, we didn't know any better.
Yeah.
You didn't know that you sitting there watching this, but really you're watching a 20-minute rest hold.
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't know.
Andre the Giant used to grab you right on your trapezius right there.
Yeah, work you
and
for
just
15
lean
minutes.
on you.
Yeah.
Because Andre had to hold himself up. So he just leaned on you for that time.
So we didn't know. We had no clue. Along the way came a little organization called ECW.
Yeah, the stain of wrestling.
So ECW comes out doing things that ain't never been done before.
Yeah, like ruining the business.
Introduced the world to Lucha Libre wrestling.
Yeah, that's a great contribution.
Because before Rey Mysterio made his moves on WCW, he was in ECW making them moves.
So was Eddie Guerrero.
So I get the whole, stop doing them. But at the same time, I can't go back to yesteryear and watch somebody 20-minute match and it's rest hold, sleeper hold, bear hug, arm stretch. Like I can't do it. It's not entertaining to me no more.
So now, I hear you say that, and I know you're a millennial, so I get it. Your attention span ain't going to drag.
Word again,
right, your attention span ain't going to drag for the 20 minutes that I get there. But I challenge you before we go that far into it to say, you don't know if you could or couldn't go back to that because you ain't seen that in 30 years.
No, I went back and watched some of those.
Right, but you saw with guys that you remember from. If you see the current guys work, Daniel Bryan works a safer, slower style of match right now, and you still think he's one of the best in the ring. If they modernize the old school style of wrestling, I believe they could draw people into it, and you would still be equally as interested in it.
Okay, I would take you on that bet. I would like to see that happen.
We'll never do it, though. That's the problem.
Modernize the old school wrestling.
Modernize the safe style of wrestling.
Don't bring the old school back.
No.
Just modernize.
Yeah, we definitely can't get into every match is a squash match, and everything you see on TV is a 3-minute squash, and every guy comes out there with the guy that comes out with the 2 straps over and the half shorts, kind of like Kurt Angle's outfit, but no colors, like just all basic black and like white boots and then knee pads that don't really match. They're getting their ass whooped in 3 minutes no matter what. I mean, they're usually skinny. They ain't got no tan.
Local talent.
They got a mullet. Yeah, I mean, these guys look like
mullet.
Right. These guys look like jobber number 1, jobber number 2, right? It looks like that's literally written on their fucking forehead at this point.
Nick Jackson at this point?
Almost. I mean, it's almost like it's written on their forehead here. You know what's going to happen there. We'll never go back to that again. But if you get guys going back to grappling, like if you could get a modern day Kurt Angle versus Daniel Bryan and they decided to do mat wrestling, I guarantee you would be more intrigued by that than you would be by the flippy flop stuff. We'll see you later on.
So I'll give it to you. You caught me. Because there is somebody that's a modern day wrestler who I do find very entertaining in the ring and love to watch that is old school.
Yeah, Gunther. Yeah.
I love to watch Gunther matches.
Exactly.
And it to me, his matches make sense, especially when he's in there though against somebody with an opposing skill set.
Yeah.
That really fits for his work rate. I'll go.
Could you imagine modern day Gunther against Kurt Angle?
Dude. Sign me up.
If you bring up 2006 Kurt Angle,
as The Rock would say,
absolutely. If you bring 2006 Kurt Angle in, where he was when he was starting at TNA, when he was starting to get his feel, and you bring him in against a modern day Gunther. I mean, the match that they would put on, I feel like you would be so intrigued by it. I feel like everybody would walk away from that saying match of the year, hands down, no other contender.
Yep.
The fact is, though, that we don't see these matches, so you don't know whether or not you'd appreciate it because it's not there. I mean, every match now is what Triple H would call flippy flop stuff.
Yeah. The part I do agree with you on though is saving those spots for the WrestleManias and things like that. And look, we know when you put certain guys in Elimination Chamber, you know what kind of spots you're going to get.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you book a TLC match, six tag teams.
Right, yeah, it's going to be a car
crash. So, look, and that's cool, and those matches definitely have a spot, but every week it takes away the luster.
Well, and that's the thing. That's a match. So, for that team, that is that spot, because like you said, the 6 teams that had that match right around WrestleMania time, well, they weren't on WrestleMania, so this was their WrestleMania. So, yeah, that is the right time for that spot, because that's a big-time match. They had 30 minutes for that match on TV. Hell, probably more, but that was still when they were on NBC. Probably more people saw that match, or Fox, more people probably saw that match than they saw WrestleMania. So I get it why you do it in that. But I mean, hell, when you're going, AEW last week had the lowest viewership of all time on Dynamite, at least in the last 2 or 3 years, they had the lowest viewership that they've recorded in forever. And guys were out there killing themselves. I mean, they were literally out there doing everything. They were giving it all they got. Now, I do understand, there's a crowd in attendance. They pay good money to go. You want to give them a show, right? But they ain't paying pay-per-view money. Tony has moved his pay-per-views to HBO Max, and he's still charging $50 a pay-per-view for them. HBO Max is $10 a month. Why the hell am I paying this dude $50 extra to watch the pay-per-view when I'm already subscribed to your service? What are we doing here? But again, that's streaming, and we already talked about streaming. But that's what I'm talking about there. Save it for that, right? Get my $50. Don't give it to the guy that paid $10 for the nosebleeds.
This is that point right there is going to crash into my next one that I wanted to bring up. Can we please just stop? Pretending that AEW is actually competition to WWE?
Oh,
now look, this is an unspoken rule in this podcast. Me and Frank, we agree 1,000% on this one. Whereas when the first ticks of AEW came out, I didn't agree with that. I thought it could have been competition. Maybe not at the level that WWE's at now, but the level that WWE was back then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Under Vince.
Yeah, I had that WCW groundswell feeling coming out of, when they broke out, and especially as they were signing big name talent, and guys were excited to go there and that. I had that feeling. Now look, I don't even feel like they're in the same orbit.
So here's where I'm going to put a precipice on this item for me, okay? Mm-hmm. This ain't about the talent. This is not about the talent at all. I'm not going to sit here and bag on AEW talent. There is phenomenal wrestlers, both on the men's and women's side of AEW, that are fantastic to watch. I just wish they had better booking.
Yeah, and that's
what it comes down to.
That is the responsibility of some wrestlers, but because there are some wrestlers that contribute. But at the end of the day, there's one head booker. I mean, we said it for years and years about Vince McMahon.
Yep.
At the end of the day, he's writing for an audience of one.
Yep.
If he finds it great, then it's going to hit TV. Whatever we do with it, that's up to us. We're almost circulating in that right now. Now, I get it. AEW faithful that are listening, this in the bag on AEW, because we get it. Y'all are AEW ride or die no matter what. Y'all are death riders. Y'all are there for the whole thing.
And that's cool.
Right. But
they need those people.
The thing of it is, they must have those people. Right, otherwise, we're not doing anything. But the point of it is, the reason they're getting record lows in viewership numbers is because it ain't working for the masses, right? The masses have latched on to what WWE's doing, and they like it. Now they want something that's either going to be similar but different, or give us completely different. But what AEW's swimming around in now, they're like, well, we're going to use all the talent that that we could get from old WWE, but we're not going to do anything good with them like WWE used to do. That's not the winning formula right there. At any level, that's not the way you go to turn something around. At least give them something interesting to do. I mean, you're just putting people in places and having matches just to have matches, and nobody cares.
Now, for the AEW fans that are out there screaming at your speaker right now and going, y'all are WWE shields. No.
We don't pay.
As LA Knight says, no. Go back 25, 30 minutes. What was my first, can we please stop? The bad booking of the finishes of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care what organization it is. Bad booking is bad booking.
Absolutely.
It don't matter.
The difference, though, is that WWE has given us bad booking here lately, but they've already got, the last 3 years worth of equity built up, so they can afford to lose a little bit to drop off 3 years worth of equity. AEW, in the meantime, has lost equity over those 3 years. It started when Cody popped up at WrestleMania, right? All of a sudden, it was like there was a shift, and it was like,
WrestleMania 38.
What are we doing here right now? 2023, Cody's in WrestleMania for WWE, and it's like, wait a minute, biggest WrestleMania of all time, right? 2 years before that, he was the TNT champion over at AEW. What are we doing here, right? So bad booking isn't something new. It's definitely not something that we're just now discussing on the podcast. It's something that we're just pulling the Band-Aid off to, and we're just addressing. We're not sugarcoating it. We're not giving you the spoonful of sugar. We're just saying it. It's bad. It needs to be fixed. it needs to be fixed soon so we can go back to enjoying it.
And I don't care if you get into the whole, well, so-and-so beat so-and-so in the ratings this week. I don't give a crap about that stuff. I don't care. If it don't hold my attention, I don't care what organization you are.
Yeah.
It don't matter to me. And that's the thing. I feel like the new regime, WWE, peaked at WrestleMania 40.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we really have been coming downhill.
Well, they're kind of riding off the success of that, but I mean, it's a wrap. So
we got to move to something.
Yeah,
different.
we got to get something new. And I mean, Cena gave us a little spark, but let's be honest. When the story that they put together for The Rock and Roman versus Cody and Seth, and then transitioned it over to Roman and Cody the next night, that was the peak. They haven't done anything close to that since. Everything Cena did in his comeback wasn't that. It wasn't even close to that. It had potential to be somewhere near that, but it just didn't.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with what we got. But yeah, we've been coming down off of that. And the problem is they're slowly coming down off of it. They're still getting some of they're still riding off some of the success, but AEW was falling off the cliff when it was happening. So they're just still free falling.
Yep.
I mean, they at least need to catch on to a hanging twig or a branch or something and try and stop the fall. Right. And you don't just fall forever. I mean, what are we doing?
Oh, is that what they were chanting? I thought they were chanting fight forever.
No, it's fall forever. It's fall forever because they've got enough money that they don't have to end, right?
True.
There is no possibility of them just shutting the doors unless Tony just gets bored with the whole thing, right? And he's nowhere near that. So they're not going to crash. They're not in the probability of crashing out. They're just going to fall forever because it just gets worse and worse, and Tony just throws a little bit more money at it.
I'm going to say this last piece of it, and I'm going to mic drop it, and I'm going to walk away.
Okay.
I don't know who the worst booker is, Tony Khan or Vince Russo.
I mean, that's a whole nother episode there. We could legit pull out, 10 bad booking decisions from either and see what happens. But when AEW first started, the whole thing that Tony Khan lived off of was, if I can only do, part of what WCW did, we'll be the greatest wrestling company of all time. And regrettably, they've done almost everything that WCW did. I mean, the only thing they need now is the finger poke of doom. That's the only thing that they're missing. Everything else that WCW did wrong in their bad days, AEW's either mimicked and or capitalized on. They built on. They used it and made something worse out of it. All they need now is, I guess they could resurrect Hulk and get him out there and, and do a finger poke of doom.
Oh, God, no, please
At
don't.
this stage, what else do we got? When AEW started falling off for me, when I realized that something was wrong there? Remember when they bought a Mike Tyson?
Yeah, and Mike Tyson was sleeping.
Right, remember all the activity and the action about, Mike Tyson, he revitalized the Attitude Era. He made WWE a contender again. He made them great again.
Yep.
We're going to capitalize on it and do the same thing. And then somehow or another, while Mike was over there in a long-ass match, so not Mike's fault, Mike's over there in a long-ass match. They go to him in very small intervals during the match to focus on him. They found a way to catch him yawning on TV and saying he was bored as hell. Even if you do that, why do you show it, right? There's no way you show that on TV.
To his defense, the shrooms were probably kicking in.
I mean, that's definitely true. And Mike's got his whole, cannabis line and all that. So Mike's got a line activity. But the fact of the matter is that match, even the match, I don't even remember what it was, but I remember also yawning right along with Mike. Like, yep, this could end at whatever time.
It was a watch along with Mike Tyson.
Absolutely. Maybe that's what we do next week. Maybe we do the watch along and see if it puts us to sleep again. But we got to have way more whiskey than this. So maybe we get a cheap bottle next week. Fill the glasses up to the top.
Oh, boy, what a slow
and just get a good slumber.
All right, everybody, that's our topic for today. Can we please just stop? What would you stop? What is annoying you in the world of professional wrestling?
Is it us? Do you want us to stop? Do you hate these episodes when we get on AEW's case? You want us to stop that?
And so
better tell us.
And so if it's us, I'm gonna tell you like Jacob Fatu says, all gas, no brakes.
Gas, no brakes.
Ain't stopping us.
Ain't stopping. Ain't stop. Won't stop.
That's right.
Diddy would say.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to today's episode. We appreciate you. Reach out on our social media platforms. Drop us a line. And with that, we bid you adieu.
Peace. Diddy also said, get your baby on.
Today's podcast was produced by SBP. You can find our podcast on all major podcast platforms. Also, Connect with us on our social media accounts. Search for The Bookers Alliance on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X.